So I'm Patrick McNally, and I'm a senior at Roland Hall High School. And I've been playing music for like 15 years now. And I'm in my studio right now. I got my electronic drum kit behind me, but I started out in violin. I believe that like a really true musician should be able to hear all the instruments and maybe not play all of them the way that they envision them, but they should hear all the parts, and so that's what I try to hold myself to that standard. Playing music has always been a way for me to vent and sort of release and analyze all my internal emotions and problems at school and in life, and it's been a really big part of my life because I've been making and writing music since like 6th grade. I remember watching Elon Musk's very successful launch back in 2015 of the Falcon 9 rocket, the reusable one, and it was the first time the boosters landed. I remember thinking, man, we're really at an age where private space companies can realistically launch rockets into space, and space is just this unknown environment where we aren't meant to live there, and that to me is really inspirational and crazy. So I wrote a song last year. I remember it was the beginning of the summer, and I remember thinking, wow, I feel like I've really captured this journey to the unknown. And so I made this song, and I was making a whole album at the time called Space Invaders, and I made this one song that resonated with me, and I started to realize that combined with the real rocket fever that Elon Musk and SpaceX had inspired. I thought I gotta build a rocket so I can learn about just the very basics of rocket propulsion and aerodynamics, and because I've been building toy rockets like the Estes models for years, and decided though to build a bigger scale rocket, and the rocket that I ended up building was about a 4.5 foot rocket that was designed to go about 10,000 feet. It was a pretty big jump from the rockets I'd been making with the small little D Estes motors that were designed to go like 300, 400 feet. That summer, I ordered some textbooks, and I started learning about rocket propulsion because I was 16 at the time, and I couldn't legally buy a rocket motor the size that I needed to get this rocket to 10,000 feet. So I decided I'm going to build one using dextrose sugar and potassium nitrate, which you find as number mover. And after some rocket propulsion textbooks, I ended up designing a motor. It was called a J motor that I ended up making. Produces about 300 pounds of thrust for 1 second. So that was enough to accelerate the rocket, ideally fast enough to coast up to 10,000 feet. So I set out to work, and I built the motor, and I didn't have any prior experience with building rocket motors. I don't think many people do, and I was so inspired the whole time by the thought of getting closer to the edge of our known environment, literally the edge of our reality. Because space is so far away, it feels like, but it really isn't that far away. A year and a half later, I ended up launching the rocket, and it ended up going 9,200 feet and breaking the sound barrier by about 100 miles an hour. It went 850 miles an hour at its top, and it was the maximum velocity. And I was really happy that it had broken the sound barrier. When I get to college, I plan on continuing building rockets, and I plan on making them more efficient, making them bigger, and giving them actual purpose, with the ultimate goal of mining asteroids. Well, I think that this rocket and the music that I wrote that inspired the building of the rocket is a really impactful start to the rocket dream, because that's what it was. It's a dream, and I'm so lucky that I have the tools and supporters to allow that to happen.